And welcome to those of you watching third round coverage of the Northern Trust from Liberty National in Jersey City, New Jersey. The big news here is the final round has been postponed because of Hurricane Henri. For now, the fourth round scheduled for Monday. And look what we have after 3 rounds. A tie atop the leaderboard between Cameron Smith and Jon Rahm, world number 1. Cameron Smith goes lights out with an 11 under 60 as he sets the course record there at Liberty National. Jon Rahm with his first bogey of the tournament, a double on 13, then had another double on 16. But as the season has gone on for Jon Rahm, it's been all about the comeback, right? Came back and birdied 17, was able to par on 18 to tie atop the leaderboard at 16 under after a 4 under 67 in round 3. And from let's welcome in Sportsline data scientist and host of the First Cut podcast, Rick Gehman. Rick, we've got a tie atop the leaderboard after 3 rounds. World number 1, Jon Rahm, cards his first bogey of the event with a double on the par 5 13. Going for the green in 2, was short, ended up in the water. Too aggressive, or did you like his approach?
I like his approach. This is an event that you are going to need to make a lot of birdies to win. Jon Rahm knows that. And when you step onto the tee box of a par 5, you're thinking you have to take advantage of it. So he tries to carry the entire length of the water there on his second shot. He comes up just 1 yard short. It's not the end of the world. And we saw him kind of recover from that. Jon Rahm really only has 1 gear, Hakeem, and it's kind of, full throttle all in. He does not often lay up, and sometimes that is to his detriment. But with the way that he has been playing, not only this week but this year, he knows that with holes still to go after that double that he made on 13, that he was still going to have plenty of opportunities, and he took advantage of them. So no, I will never blame a guy. Well, that's not true. Sometimes I will blame a guy for being too aggressive, but not in this spot for Jon Rahm.
We know that he doesn't care for the FedEx Cup playoff format with the point systems, and has said it's been more about, for us, basically, for TV and for the people that are consuming the sport, which is great for us. But do you think that's fueling him throughout this event? He was T6 last year and then, of course, went on to win the BMW Championship.
Yeah, I think Jon Rahm is really good at finding motivation in a lot of different spots. And I certainly think the playoff format is one piece of motivation that he can use. He has been seemingly by far the best player on the PGA Tour this year. Colin Morikawa could certainly give him a run for his money, but he thinks he deserves that FedEx Cup, and he does not like the idea that it's going to come down to 4 rounds at East Lake to decide that. And at best, he will only have a 2-shot lead heading into the Tour Championship. So Jon Rahm is very confident about his skills. He believes he's the best player on tour. He believes he's done more than anybody else, and that he should be the one who hoists the FedEx Cup in a couple of weeks. It's hard to argue with that. And if that's what he has to turn into a little bit of motivation and a little bit of fire over the final couple weeks of the regular season, or over the season here, good for him. Go get it, Jon Rahm.
Yeah, world number 1, 5th in the FedEx Cup standings coming into this event. Meantime, he is tied atop the leaderboard with the guy that chases him down, Cam Smith, the dude with the mullet, business in the front, party in the back. And on Saturday, Cam Smith, all business, cards an eye-popping 11 under 60, had a chance for a magical 59, missed a birdie putt on 18, played his first 36 holes at 5 under, then Saturday goes 11 under, sets the course record at Liberty National. Rick, your reaction to his record-setting round?
Absolutely splendid. We knew that the scoring conditions at Liberty National this week were going to be really good. We saw that on Friday as the course played about 2 shots under par, and then on Saturday closer to 2.5 shots under par. But for Cam Smith to go out there and do what he did in this fashion, it was a lot of really close kick-in birdies, Hakeem. I mean, he was absolutely dialed in with his irons and his wedges, and he is just long enough on this course, as you're seeing here, him driving the par 4 there. He's just long enough on this course. He has just enough firepower to really take advantage of all of these holes. And when that putter gets going in the right direction, it's really hard to stop. And of course, he does get a look at 59 on 18, which is one of those magic numbers, as you mentioned, that we don't often see on the PGA Tour. But he'll settle for a 60, and he will settle for a share of the co-lead through 54 holes, and now plenty of time to sleep on it. 9
birdies in the first 2 rounds. And then he has 11 in the 3rd round. It's absolutely incredible. How do you explain that, right? The first 2 rounds he plays well, and then it just something clicks on that day, on Saturday, on moving day.
The margins are so small on the PGA Tour, Hakeem, and these guys can all go out and shoot 9, 10, 11 under par. It's just a matter of, did the putt drop for them? How often do you see a putt lip out? You know, if that putt drops instead, it's a birdie instead of a par. So this was a ceiling round for Cam Smith, who had been playing just fine, but he got everything to go in his direction. And when you have, and we see this a lot at major championships, especially on the PGA Tour, when the margins are very, very small, guys can still go low. It's a little bit of luck. It's a little bit of everything going in their direction, but this was pure ceiling from Cam Smith on Saturday.
Well, now Cam Smith and Jon Rahm going to have to sleep on the lead for 2 nights. Final round of the Northern Trust has been postponed because of Hurricane Henri. For now, the 4th round scheduled for Monday. Rick, what's the impact of having a Monday finish for both the players and the course?
There's a lot. You know, the idea that it's hard to sleep on the lead on one night for 54 holes is difficult enough. Now you're going to have to do it for 2 days, and especially you're probably not going to be able to go out and play anywhere on Sunday and keep your game in shape. So these guys have to stay mentally ready for 2 days, and they're creatures of habit, and it throws them off. What I expect to happen when, and hopefully if we do get this final round eventually finished, is that Liberty National is going to be very, very wet. The PGA Tour is probably going to have to invoke lift, clean, and place, meaning that if you're playing out of the fairway, you'll be able to pick up your ball, clean it, and put it back down. That usually leads to a lot of really low scores as well. So if you are not Cam Smith, if you are not Jon Rahm, and you're those guys in the chase pack, you know there's going to be low scores available the next time that you step on the course. So you're going to have to keep the pedal down through the entirety of the final 18 holes. I
mean, there's a situation here that they may not even play on Monday. I mean, we could be looking at a Tuesday finish, perhaps. Rick, what are the chances that this becomes a 54-hole tournament and we have co-winners at the Northern Trust?
I don't think those chances are very high, but it's certainly possible. What the PGA Tour needs is about 7 hours. They need 7 hours to complete the final round. That means you're going to have generally groups of 3 going off split tees, 1 and 10. That's basically the fastest that we can go at this point. So they need 7 hours. If they can't find that window on Monday and you start creeping into Tuesday, things get a little bit hairy, Hakeem, because we have another playoff event next week that's going to start on Thursday. And remember, that field's not set yet. The top 70 in the FedEx Cup standings are going to move on to the BMW Championship, and we don't even know who those players are. That creates a lot of logistics for the PGA Tour that they don't want this thing to creep into Tuesday. It's only happened a couple of times on the PGA Tour, but there is a small precedent for shortening an event to 54 holes. If that were to happen and this event is over, Cam Smith and Jon Rahm, they would take first and second place money, first and second place FedEx Cup points. They would combine them together and they would split them between the two. It would be a fascinating conclusion to an event, but the tour must roll on. We have the playoffs to play, and we are just days away.
Great insight there from Rick on how that might play out, and you know it's going to take absolute focus to close this out. Who do you trust to win the Northern Trust when it's all said and done?
I trust Jon Rahm, and I know it's real brave of me to pick the guy at the top of the leaderboard who's been one of the best players on tour. But what we saw on Saturday was what I call trackman golf. You know, when these guys know that they have a course that is very soft, they just have to hit it to the right number in the air. They don't have to worry much about spin or where the ball is going to roll out to. And Jon Rahm hits his iron so high, he is able to take dead aim on these numbers that he knows he can fly the ball. And we saw that. He had so many pitch marks next to flags all day long on Saturday, because that's the best part of his game. And if we get soft conditions at Liberty National in the final round, I think it is Jon Rahm that comes out on top.
Jon Rahm entered the Northern Trust as the favorite, remains the favorite after 3 rounds, tied atop the leaderboard with Cameron Smith at 16 under par. Rick Gehman breaking down 3rd round action from Liberty National. Appreciate it, Rick. And for more awesome golf content, join Rick Gehman and his crew on the First Cut podcast, a cavalcade of stars. You'll get tournament previews, including DFS picks and analysis. You'll also get round-by-round reaction to each PGA Tour event. The First Cut podcast. Download and subscribe today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.